amazing thing here. So this particular individual, there's some cracks in his life. And we're going to come back to this because I'm going to move on. But so here they are in this place. And Joseph is the one who has hope. Going back to that movie, Shawshank Redemption, this particular guy, Andy, with his sandy blonde hair, probably weighing about 180 pounds, hasn't lifted one single weight in his life, and seems to be a timid of a fella, wears wire-rimmed gold glasses, and he goes into this monstrosity of a scary prison environment with individuals who've been there for 30 years, who have arms like tree trunks, thighs like steel. They can do 1,000 push-ups. They are hardened by their story, hardened by their situation. They haven't seen their family in many, many years. And in comes this smiling, blonde, sandy blonde hair, sort of like Curtis, walking in this tough environment. And this guy who's the narrator, his name is Red. And Morgan Freeman tells the story of Red. And what happens is they are amazed by Andy's hope and his sense of self-worth. Now, when Andy first came in, the first few months, well, they didn't think he'd make it. But then they thought, that hope will fade. It happened to us all. At one point, he's going to become hopeless. Years go by. Horrible things in such a horrible, hardened environment happen to Andy, just like I'm sure they happened to Joseph. Hey, prison ain't no fun. Prison's not an easy place to be. It's a tough environment. It's a dark environment. I don't care if they keep the lights on all day long. It's a very dark environment. And so I'm sure some things happen to Joseph. The Bible doesn't talk about that part. Just like some things happen to Andy in the movie. But like Andy, Joseph had hope. The Bible says that he asked them, what's wrong with you today? When you read it in 40th chapter, he looked at them and said, what's wrong? What's wrong? Well, first of all, I'm in prison. What's wrong? Second of all, I didn't do it. Third of all, I'm innocent. Fourth of all, the list goes on and on. And so he asked them, what's wrong with you? Because he believed, I'm going to cognitions now. He believed that it's about how we think. Not where we are, not the conditions we can't control. It's about our baseline of thinking. And Joseph's baseline of thinking was, this is not too hard for my God. My God can do this. And I could just imagine Joseph when no one's looking and when doubt hits his mind. No, because my great-granddaddy, he had a visitation from God. I know God can do all things because my great-granddaddy was 100 years old and my great-great-grandmama was about 90. She never had a baby. And my God, the one I put my hope in, my trust in, my faith in, the one who's going to help me, gave him a baby. My granddaddy, Isaac, gave him a baby. So this can't be too hard because let me weigh the payoffs. Get me out of prison, get a 90-year-old woman a baby. My God can do this one. So then doubt comes upon his mind again. And he talks about his granddaddy. He starts thinking about Isaac and some of the amazing things God did in his life. And then he talks about and thinks about his father Jacob and how God changed his name from Jacob to Israel. And how God gave him a tremendous family. And how when he was subject to slavery and bondage in prison to his uncle Laban, which was his grandfather, how God brought him through that. What am I saying here today? I'm saying if you will look back over your life, you'll see that God brought you. If you will look back over your own story, your own life history, you will see God has been good to you in your life. When I think about being shot that day, when at my 18 years of age, I think about some of the goodness. I remember the doctor telling me, but if you had to get shot, you got shot in the right spot. If that was a place that anybody could get shot, you got shot in the right spot. He said you got 9 bullet holes in your car, but the one that hit you, it hit you in the right spot. I'm talking about even in the midst of trouble, in the midst of things not being good, in the midst of pain, in the midst of conditions that you desire not, if you will really look, you'll see how good God has been to you. Somebody tell me how he's been to you. And so you can just look over your life and you can look over your circumstance and say, I got shot in the right spot. Nothing but the grace of God.